Hello, everyone. Hello, everybody. How we doing? Happy Jesus. Happy New Year, everybody. I hope you guys enjoyed yourself. Let me get my broom out the camera. I hope everybody is well. I hope you guys had a great New Year. I hope you had fun bringing it in. I hope you was with the ones that you love. And if you were not, I hope you enjoyed yourself. Hello, Renata. Hey, Baron. I just hope you guys had a good time bringing in the new year. I'm excited about 2020. I'm excited about what God is doing. I'm excited about what He is doing in my life, what's coming up, what's about to be happening, and all that good stuff. So I hope you guys are just as excited about your own lives. I hope you guys are being optimistic about this year. I'm excited about this topic, and I've been thinking about it for the last couple of days. I couldn't wait to get live with you guys. I was gonna go live after Christmas, and I said, no, let everybody enjoy themselves. And I took advantage of that because I had some things I needed to catch up on myself. And then, of course, for New Year's, I had to force myself to sit down and be still because sometimes we just have to do that. It's very difficult, but I definitely made sure I got some rest and I took a good break. So welcome 2020. Welcome. Like I said, I hope you guys are all blessed, and let's get to it. Feel free. We're going to talk about getting selfish in 2020. If you disagree with anything that I say, I want you to comment so that way we can have some dialogue and conversation. And if the conversation gets a little juicy and whatnot, I will be more than happy to invite you to come on and be present. So if you feel like you're going to have some stuff to say, go put some lip gloss on, get the crust out your eye, and you are more than welcome to join me. So getting selfish in 2020, what do I mean by that? I'm definitely not referring to being selfish. I know you guys know that. I'm not referring to you. I mean, in an irresponsible kind of way. What I want you to do. Hey, Letitia, how you doing, sweetheart? What I want you to be thinking about, and what I want you to get in the habit of, is incorporating a lot of you time. We have mental breaks. We have we get overwhelmed and stressed out and things like that because we have not yet learned how to be selfish. And so one thing too, those of us that grew up in the church, or we are workers in our communities and things like that, we've gotten so caught up in trying to be selfless that we don't understand what it means to be just a little bit selfish with ourselves. When it comes down, sorry you guys, allergies, it just is what it is. You have to excuse me. When it comes down to yourself, taking care of yourself, you can't really be effective in taking care of your family, taking care of your work life and all that good stuff if you're not taking care of yourself. And so you got to get in the habit of being selfish. You got to get in the habit of learning how to tell people no. You got to get in the habit, if it's not good for your mental space, if it's not good for you, if it's not conducive to your family, if it's not conducive to the route you need to be going, then you got to get in the habit of starting to learn how to say no. And I know sometimes that can be really hard. I had to really learn. I'm going to say when I was in the military, I had to learn the power of no. And I am the oldest of 5, you know what I mean? And so I have always had to give my time by helping my mom out, and, love being in church and just learning how to be a giver and a worker and things like that. Just light. I'm so sorry, you guys. Oh, wait a minute. Just put my big head in the way and then boom. All right. See if that helped. Nope, that's going to get on my nerves. Let me turn this way. Let's see how we do there. Light is there. Sorry, you guys. Okay, anyway, we've just learned over the years, that it is, you have to always be giving and giving and giving and giving. And sometimes we feel bad about, you know what I mean? I don't want to say no because I don't want to seem like this, or I don't want to hurt nobody's feelings, or I don't. You got to get in the habit of, is this going to hurt me? Is it going to set my family back? Is this going to interrupt my schedule? What is it going to do for my finances? Is it going to, affect my marriage? And, You know, what is it doing for my mental space? You know, you can't be overwhelmed with everybody else's agenda that you're not thinking about stuff. So when I say get selfish in 2020, I want you to start thinking about, you know, some things, some ways that you are putting so much in front of you that you're not able to take care of self. All right. So there's nothing wrong with having selfish moments, needing to have that selfish time. So when you're thinking about that, like how many of you guys once a month have something that you do for you? You know what I mean? Fellas, going to go get a haircut, that's a necessity. It's not really a want. It's not, you know what I mean? For some of you guys, you may go and get a haircut and then spend a few extra dollars to, you know, for them to heat wrap your face and, you know, all that good stuff that they do whenever you go to get your haircut and stuff like that. But that's a necessity. That's grooming. And so it can kind of be, you know, a time where you're kind of relaxing and things like that, but not really. So, you know, when I say take some time for yourself, I'm talking about taking some alone time. You know, even if you don't like to be alone, maybe some you and spouse time, you and some girlfriend, or ladies, you and boyfriend, or you and best friend, or whatever the case may be. Just, you know, making sure that you schedule, you know, every third Saturday, I'm gonna, you know, instead of going straight home, I'm gonna go drive the river and I'm gonna walk around and just enjoy the water at the river market, you know, or I'm still learning Florida, so I'm going to use Arkansas as an example. You know, in Arkansas, I lived in Jacksonville, which is not far from, about 20 minutes from Little Rock. And so they have these tourist towns called like Hot Springs, Eureka Springs. You know, you got your mountains, you know, things like that I know that I enjoy doing every so often. And so, you know, taking either once a month or once a quarter or every other month and just, you know, putting that time aside to go do what you need to do for you. And so getting selfish, you need it. It's a necessity. It's very, very important. So I want you to get in the habit, you know, pull out your calendar. You got to do it. You got to do it. It's that important when we're talking about getting selfish, pulling out your calendar and filling in some dates. You know what I mean? So just looking at January and just saying to yourself, on this day and on this day, not only am I going to go get my nails done, not only am I going to go get my hair cut, but I'm going to go to the mall and walk around for an hour. Or I'm going to go, you know what I mean? Just take extra time for you in the morning times. You know what I mean? Do you take time in the mornings to do what you need to do to get your mind right? Or are you waking up out of your sleep in go mode? You know what I mean? And that can also be, you know, that can also affect your day. You know what I mean? If you don't have time to just kind of roll over, scratch your butt and just look at the walls for a second and just think about how your day needs to go, you know what I mean? Say a prayer, just get your mind right, however you need to do that, and go take a shower and take the time you need to get yourself beautified. And, you know, selfish time sometimes can be a daily thing. So think about that whenever you're starting your day. You know, is how do you feel? You know, are you always stressed every day? How does your day start? Do you need to take more time in the morning for yourself? Go in your closet, close the door, maybe lock your bedroom door, and you know, your kids don't lock if you got children, don't lock your door, you know, for emergency purposes. But, you know, if you need, you know, don't bother me until 5 o'clock. Wake up at 4 in the morning and just have that time to yourself to meditate. Have that time to yourself to just really, really think about your day. Feed your soul, delve into your peace. Absolutely. And I've said this for a long time. You want to make sure that you find ways to feed the brain, feed the mind, you know, listening to motivationals, listening to sermons, whatever it is you got to listening to your favorite speakers. If you don't have a favorite speaker, you can inbox me. I'll send you all kind of information, people that I listen to all the time. Wow, that is a great idea. I always take time for myself, but I never schedule it. Taking my calendar out right now. Thank you, sweetheart. You're very welcome, Ronald. So glad I could be of help. But yeah, absolutely. Oh, I'm locking the room and bathroom door from the jokers. No, don't lock the doors. That's a safety hazard. But seriously, take the calendar and pencil it in and make sure, because think about it like this. If you have a doctor's appointment to go do your monthly, or, you know what I mean, to get checked and everything like that, you make sure you attend that. You make sure you're there for that. If your kids have an appointment, you know, not an appointment, but they have like sports and, you know, practice and stuff like that, you show up 6 o'clock all the time for them. Maybe, you know, before you go home, you check on your parents, you know, and you got to always ask yourself that question, you know, is who's taking a second to ask me how I'm doing? Who's taking a second to make sure I'm okay, making sure that I got something to eat, making sure that I don't need anything? You know what I mean? And if you don't have anybody doing that for you, you need to do that for yourself. But always make sure that you're taking time for you, because if you are not okay, you are not okay for others. Why is this conversation important? Because mental breakdowns can be it can be detrimental to your health. All right. Suicide is becoming an issue. Not becoming, has always been an issue. All right. Suicide has always been an issue. Depression, anxiety, always been an issue. All right. So the new year just started, and it's been great for some, and it's been very, very hard on others. And so you want to be thinking about those things. How many of you guys right now that are tuning in, you're struggling with depression? How many of you guys are struggling with anxiety? And like I said, those type of things happen when you're always waking up and you're like, oh God, go, fix food, do this, do that. You know what I mean? You're on the phone, even if you don't have children, you know what I mean? You're waking up at the last minute, and you're not taking that time to really, take a step back and just say, okay, what needs to happen today? At 6 o'clock this, at 8 o'clock this. You're walking around the house, you're slowly but surely getting yourself together, you're making your foods, and just taking time. Save this live. I have to watch it later. Yes, ma'am. You need to talk later, inbox me, please. But just I promise you, taking that time, it helps out a whole lot. People get depressed and you get anxiety because you're overwhelmed and you're losing control. That's one thing, I admit, I always have admitted, I'm documented, for having depression, anxiety. But because I want to be in control of my own life, I had to take a step back and figure out, what do I have to do to keep myself from being overwhelmed? What do I have to do to keep myself from feeling like I'm incapable, or feeling like I'm not able to, really, really stand on my own 2 feet, not stand on my own 2 feet, but not like stay on task when you start feeling like you're losing control because you're so overwhelmed and you're going nonstop. And just because you're still functioning and moving around doesn't mean you are not depressed. Depression comes in many different forms. Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's going to do nothing but get heavier and heavier and heavier if you don't start taking control. And so the way that you take control is taking that time. When you start realizing like, sometimes we do a lot. If you really think about why you do a lot of things that you do before work, after work, the weekends, things like that. Why do you do some of the things that you do? Why is your schedule so busy? And most times people start realizing it's because you're doing so much for other people. You're not doing enough for yourself. And because you're neglecting self for so many other people, you start feeling like, I do so much for other people. Nobody does anything for me. You're not doing anything for yourself either. So you got to kind of take accountability. It's your life. You determine your own happiness. You determine boundaries for yourself. And so you have to take a step back, especially when you start realizing you're losing control. Those are the things you want to pay attention to. Am I losing control? Hi, Miss Christy. How are you? Hi, Quincy. You want to start asking yourself those questions. I feel as soon as I feel myself getting anxious, and I keep a busy schedule, and it's only about to get busier. And I have to, anytime that I notice, and I always want to acknowledge, I challenge you to always acknowledge when you start feeling yourself starting to lose control. So when you start losing control, start saying, why am I starting to feel anxious? Why am I feeling? Anytime, I'm talking about as soon as I recognize the signs. You know what I mean? When I can't get out of bed, or when I don't feel like getting out of bed and I know I got a lot to do, and I'm just like, start feeling bad. Just sit up, close your eyes, and just, you know what I mean? Just start thanking God, start being grateful, start thinking about all the good things that are going on. You know what I mean? And just put yourself into a positive place. And as you put yourself into a positive place, start thinking about why you're having those negative feelings. Start thinking about, you know what I mean? Why am I feeling so anxious? Can I cancel some things that I got on my plate right now just so I can kind of take a step for me? You know what I mean? That's very, very important. That's very, very important. And if you're not in the habit of taking time for self, do it. Grab that calendar. Force yourself to do it. And I'm not saying that you have to be selfish and only do things alone, because some people don't like doing stuff by themselves. Fine. Pick a couple days out of the month, call some friends and say, hey, I'm free on this day and this day. Clear your calendar on that day and that day. Come with me between 5 and 9 o'clock. Let's go take a little mini, you know what I mean? Let's go to the next town over and just have a spa day. Or let's go to the bar. Or let's, you know what I mean? Whatever it is that you need to do, but force yourself to block off time. Force yourself to block off time in the mornings, force yourself, even if it's just twice a week in the morning. If you just feel like your schedule is so busy that you can't, I'm telling you, force yourself to block it. Get up in the morning, pull out a yoga mat. If you don't want to exercise, don't exercise. But sit crisscross applesauce for a second and just stretch. We getting old, y'all. I turned 35, and I'm telling you, I be getting up them steps, and I'm just like, why am I getting up half these steps and I feel some soreness going on? I hate yoga. I hate yoga. I love to lift weights. I love to do certain exercises, but I hate yoga. But guess what? A sister gonna have to start doing some yoga, because now I need to start worrying about my flexibility. I'm getting older. I got to worry about my flexibility. So why not get up in the morning? And in the mornings, while I'm taking a second and I'm looking at the walls and I'm trying to gather my thoughts and everything like that. Okay. Whew. So I think I'm gonna wear some white pants. Oh, and I got that shirt that I want to wear. Woo! Ooh, that feel good. Woo! That feel good. And just kind of, you know what I mean? Just get in that moment, crack your neck. What we gotta do? What I gotta do? Okay, I need to do this, do that. What phone calls do I need to make? Let me make sure I check on my mama. You know what I mean? And just start thinking about some things. Have a notepad sitting next to you, so that way you're plotting and planning, and you're not rushing, and you're not forgetting things, and you're not feeling unstable. But what does your morning ritual need to look like every day? You know what I mean? Okay, I know I need to be moving around by 7 o'clock. I know I need to be out of the door by 7 o'clock. So if I get up at 5 and I go take a shower and you know what I mean, fire my clothes and be downstairs by 6, and you know what I mean, just that way your morning is flowing. When you wake up feeling good, or at least preparing yourself to, you know what I mean, allow your day to kind of flow, the rest of your day will go the exact same way. And because you blocked off time and you scheduled time to have some fun, if you're not doing that for yourself, plot and plan it. If you have kids, start talking to you know what I mean, build you a community. We have gotten so far away from communities. Those of you all that are single parents, single fathers, single mothers, those of you that need that type of support, start gathering your communities. Hey, you know what I mean? They got Meetup on it's an app. It's also I think you can, if you don't like doing stuff on your phone, get on a computer and get on Meetup. You know what I mean? And start finding other mothers that can be a community. You know what I mean? Where you're saying, hey, do you guys mind keeping our kids? And then we'll kind of rotate where I can have a mommy day, or I can have a father day, or whatever the case. And, everybody have a babysit day, or, maybe I don't know. I don't know what that looks like for you, but I'm just saying there's so many different ways that you can kind of just take a break. Find some things that you like for you, things that you want to do for you, or maybe there's some things that you and somebody else wants to do. Maybe there's some friends that, you know what I mean, you want to get together more often. You want to do things, schedule it, and then stick to that schedule. I'm sorry, you guys, my allergies is I've been cleaning and everything, and now there's stuff all in the air, and so now my nose is irritating me, so I apologize. But anyway, another thing that I definitely wanted to cover, there may be some things that you've been putting off for the sake of other people, such as your family, such as your children, such as work. You know what I mean? If you work from 8 to 5, but you find yourself going in an hour early and getting off 2 hours late, and you find yourself neglecting you, and time out. Is it possible that maybe your job is demanding that you just have to, you know what I mean, dedicate that extra time? Maybe you dedicate the extra time 2 to 3 times a week instead of every day. You know what I mean? And making sure that you go in at 8 and get off at 5 so you can do some things for you. Because I'm telling you, if you don't start taking time for self, that depression that you're dealing with, that you have not talked to nobody about, that anxiety that you're dealing with, that you have not talked to nobody about, them suicidal thoughts that you having, and I have no issue saying that out loud, them suicidal thoughts that you having because you feeling worthless and left alone and ignored and all that other stuff, You have got to start taking control over your life. You cannot let your job continue to consume you. Especially if you hate your job. Especially if you hate your job. Now listen, I'm going to sidebar this real quick and kind of push this off to the side. We got to start, we have to start digging into those desires that we had, that we're not entertaining, that we're not making plans for, that we're not investing in. Because let me tell you something, the way taxes is working, you need to own something. You need to be in charge of, you need to have some type of entrepreneurship. You need to have something when you file your taxes this year. Tax laws have already changed. So those of y'all that's looking forward to them $5,000, $8,000, $10,000 refunds that you was getting for children and all these breaks that you were having because of your income was low, or that, you know, you're getting these huge deductions from your check every month. If you don't own anything, you don't have no business, you don't have stuff to write off, you are going to be in for a rude awakening this year. You're going to be in for a rude awakening this year. So it's time to get selfish, and it's time to start bringing that stuff right. Not no more. It's time to start bringing that stuff to surface. Okay, well, for the sake of taxes, for the sake of finances, for the sake of this household, for the sake of what it is that needs to be happening, you know, that I like to sow. Let me start, you know, what can I do with this gift that I have? What can I do about it? So that way it can start benefiting me, start understanding what this stuff means. You know what I mean? And just start taking time. And the only way that you're going to be able to start that business that you want, that you've been putting off, is you got to take the time. Some of y'all want to get you want to take extra classes and get some certifications. But I'm telling you, if you start thinking about how you're operating your schedule, and there's some ways that you can kind of push some folks to the side and just say, listen, this year I got to do things differently. And hopefully, by you doing things differently this year, you'll start making those lifestyle changes where you'll start saying, I love to help out my community, but I got to scale it back a little bit. And instead of volunteering every weekend, maybe I volunteer once or twice a week, because some of these weekends I need to start dedicating to self-care, so we can stop having these mental breakdowns, so we can stop having these panic attacks, so we can stop having all these, you know what I mean, these thoughts of feeling worthless and things like that. You need to bring worth to yourself. If you don't find yourself worthless, worth anything, nobody else will. You don't want to put your worth in the hands of someone else. You don't want to put self-care in the hands of somebody else. Well, I need somebody to get my nails done for me. I need somebody to do this and do that. You don't have to do that. Maybe stop drinking coffee in the mornings and start taking them $1 and $2 cups of coffee monies, put them in some envelopes, and invest that money in other things, stocks and bonds, and you know what I mean? I just started getting into the Wall Street Journal. And this is it. And I want you guys to be thinking about this when it comes down to starting to be selfish. How can you start investing in you? Start investing in you. This extra gas that you spending to go take care of everybody else, save that gas, save money in certain areas. You spend the money in a lot of places where you don't really have to. And so listen, when I was doing my paper route, I told you I was throwing papers for these mansions and everything. So the way they do paper routes here in Tampa, you got your regular Tampa Bay, and then you got the Wall Street Journal. And listen, I was short a couple times, and I'm throwing, and I'm like, oh shoot, I'm running short on the Wall Street. And folks, them big money folks, they ain't playing about needing to be updated about that money. All right. So I wanted to know, I'm like, what is it about the Wall Street? What is it about the Wall Street? Now, I mean, clearly it's stocks and bonds and all these other things or whichever, but I subscribe to Wall Street, because newspapers, we ain't finna do all that. So I subscribe to the app. You get 4 weeks for free. 4 weeks for free. Listen, you get the inside scoop. If somebody finna sue a business, you finna get the information right then and there. Wall Street pops up on my phone every 5 minutes. And I'm like, God, what's happening now? Well, what's happening now? And the reason why is because all these millionaires and billionaires, they got their money spread out with all these different companies and everything. And so they want to know firsthand what the heck is happening. What the heck is happening? So we need to start, you know what I mean? Even if you don't got no money to invest in stocks and bonds right now, at least start informing yourselves. Start informing yourselves and learning about what's going on in money market right now. What's going on with businesses, international and nationally. And just start educating yourself. So when it comes time, when you start doing this stuff for self and, you know what I mean, putting some money to the side for some things you want to do for you, then you can say, okay, man, I've been watching Johnson & Johnson for a minute. And I did what the wellness coach said. And she told me to get on the Wall Street and start paying attention. Japan, I see what you, okay, all right. I've also been learning, you know what I mean? Some folks are going to auctions where they're auctioning off land, real estate for little to nothing. Instead of thinking about, oh, well, you know, you need thousands and thousands of, if you got $1,000 saved up, you can go get you an acre for less than a G. I'm just saying. And I'm just like, whoa. You know what I mean? I'm thinking about my moves. You know what I mean? The more that I'm plugging myself in, the more that I unplug and plugging myself into the right resources and plugging myself into some information, you know what I mean? Instead of sitting on the phone talking nonsense to people and you know what I mean? I'm literally, when I get on Facebook, I'm scrolling past the drama. I ain't got time at all. I get on here and you know, some folks say some things and give you some positive words of encouragement, get on off. But mainly what I'm looking for, when I'm plugging in, I'm plugging into people that's talking positive, that's talking money, that's talking about making moves, and that's talking about teaching these young kids, that's talking about pouring in, you know what I mean? I'm like, I need to plug into, hey, can we talk every so often? Okay, I got you, darling. Let me write your name down. I got you. But just you know, plugging into the right resources that's gonna have you thinking about some things differently. You know what I mean? And you wanna, got makeup on my hand. You want to be informed. You really want to be informed. And I'm telling you, entrepreneurship is not as hard as you think it is. Taking time for self is not as difficult. I'm telling you, it's gonna hurt in the beginning. I'm telling you, when I first started saying no, I was crying. And the first person I learned how to say no to was my mama. It was hard. Because I have been there. I have been my mama's right-hand man since I was little. And I'm telling you, it has been very, very difficult plunging into making money. Absolutely. It was very, very difficult. Very, very difficult. But I had to sometimes, you know, with people, family, you know, and it's not to say I don't love you. It's not to say I don't care about you. It's to say, okay, hold on one second, because I need to make sure I'm okay. And I got some things I need to work on. And I can't take care of you if I'm not taking care of me. You know what I mean? If you want me always to be around you to kind of help you with some things, and every time I come around, I look like I got 100 pounds on my shoulders and my attitude is jacked up, and you just like, man, she's here. She show up all the time. She show up and volunteer. She show up to help out and everything. But God dog, her attitude is nasty. But God dog, you know what I mean? She ain't never got no gas. She ain't never this, that, and the third. She show up, but God dog, she ain't never got no money. We always got to feed her, and we always, you know what I mean? Like, because you're not taking care of yourself. You're showing up for other people, but you're showing up and you still got to ask for stuff, and you still got to, you know what I mean? And that's because you ain't taking care of yourself. You can't be asking for stuff, but steady trying to pour everything you don't have and then asking for stuff when all you really had to do was just take a step back and take care of your priorities. So that way you taking care of home, ain't nobody looking at you crazy or talking about you, and you can still pour. The more you take care of self, the more you can be able to pour into other people. The more that you educate yourself and setting yourself up for success, guess what? You're going to be able to pour into your kids and set your kids up for success. I don't have no children, but I got nephews and nieces coming. My sister just had another baby. I can't wait to pour into my nieces and nephews and talk to them about money and talk to them about investing and things like that. So all I'm saying is you got to get selfish. You have got to get selfish. So that way, hey, Miss Jackie, how you doing? Happy New Year. You got to start getting selfish, because it's only going to help you to grow. It's only going to help you to shine. You know what I mean? You want to always be walking in light and love. You can't do that when you boggled down and stressed out. And no matter how, people that go to church, you know who they are. People who go to church, you know what I mean? When they say, you're going to church and then you leaving out the same way you came in, it's because you're not taking time for self. It's not you done went to church, you done got all this word, and then you can't even process it because you got 5 million things on your mind. You know what I mean? But you get up, you start clapping and shouting because everybody else clapping and shouting. You don't even know what the pastor said. You couldn't even eat because your mind is boggled down. You got people around you talking positivity. You know what I mean? You got me on here talking about getting selfish in 2020, and there's people scrolling right past my stuff because they too mentally occupied with a bunch of negative stuff that they ain't looking to plug into nothing positive. You got to be looking for this stuff. Somebody talking about money market. Whoa, let me plug in real quick. What you talking about? What's going on in money market? What's that? Okay, while you talking about that, let me get on my computer. We'll look at this money market thing on money market. Definition of money market. Oh, okay, that's what that is. Oh, okay. What else they talking about? Oh, let me Google that. That's what that is? Okay, let me check into that. If you don't know what they talking about, unplug, plug in, figure it out, Google it, learn, take notes. I be going down rabbit holes all the time. I'm blessed, Miss Jackie. I'm blessed. I go down rabbit holes all the time because I'm like, what's that? Ooh, what can I do to, you know what I mean? And even if it's something that I can't indulge in or whatever the case may be, I'll hit somebody up and be like, hey, so I seen they was talking about over in New Jersey, they got this, that, and the third going on, and I know you interested in this. You should check into that. All right, cool. That's what's up. Love you. Holler at you later. I'm just saying. So when you start to get selfish, I'm telling you, your mind, you start pouring into yourself accidentally, not even trying, but because you're so focused on evolving, you're so focused on feeling good, you're so focused on thinking on the right terms, you're so focused on health. You know what I mean? I just read today, I think I shared the post, and it's right before this live, where drugs, the pharmaceutical company has increased their monies by 5%. Last I checked, prescription drugs was already expensive. What you talking about? They increased 5% for what? For what? So for those of you guys that spending so much money on medication, get selfish. Get selfish. If you don't have time for the gym, make time for the gym. If you ain't got time to meal prep so you can eat properly, so you can get yourself off of medications, make time. Make time. I promise you, if you really sat back and thought about your schedule, if you really just took a step back and thought about your schedule, are you really utilizing your time properly? These people that you want to go see after work, do you really need to go do that? Or can you go do some stuff for you? Take a second and go do some stuff for you so you can get you together. And that way, if the pharmaceutical companies are raising their prices, it's because folks is getting off of medication because they're healing. You know what I mean? But they raising their prices because they got more people that need medicine. Because people won't take time for self. I also read another post where they was talking about how banks made, oh Lord, don't give me the line. Banks made $34 billion in overdraft fees. In overdrafts alone. Banks made $34 billion just off of people bouncing checks, just off of people allowing their accounts to be in the negative. What do we have to do to start getting selfish and making time for self so that way we can get our finances together and stop giving away our money, stop giving away our time to the wrong people and start unplugging and plugging in? I think probably 80% of everybody on my Facebook talking about throwing out the negatives and I'm finna go into 2020. I'm finna listen. Y'all gonna be saying the same thing in 2021, 2022, 2023 until you start learning how to get selfish with you. That's it. Keep your eyes on your money. Absolutely. Absolutely. I tell you what, I definitely understand why the old folks used to take their money and put them in a can and dig up the dirt and put it in the yard. instead of giving our money away to the banks. It had me thinking twice, like, maybe I need to go back to, cashing my money and holding on to my stuff. You know what I mean? But I'm just saying, let me see. Amen. Thank you, God, for this unadulterated word for your people in this day and time. You better speak, honey. Thank you so much, Letitia. But I'm just saying, the more that you start, you know what I mean? I myself, I have never been this selfish in my life. And I know some of y'all are like, but ain't nothing selfish about you. No, trust me. I have gotten selfish with my time, meaning the way that I used to have meaningless telephone conversations all the time, the way I used to waste my time just doing nothing productive, I have learned to get selfish and start educating myself and plugging into the right people. I've learned how to get selfish with my space. I've learned how to be selfish with my energy. I've learned how to be selfish with conversations. I've learned how to be selfish about what type of spirits I'm allowing around me. Because like I said, you know what I mean? I know me. I'm a wellness coach. So clearly I want you to talk to me. I want you to call me. I want to figure out how to help you. Every time I see stuff, I had to stop watching the news because I would see so much stuff and I would be bogged down and start crying and just, what can I do to be superwoman and help? I just want to help. I just want to heal people. I just want to make people happy. And it would just make me sad. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, I can only do what I can. But how can I do what I can? I got to educate myself. Well, how can I keep myself educated if all I'm doing is talking to the negative people? How can I keep myself informed if all I'm doing, hey, Lakeisha, how you doing, baby girl? How can I keep myself informed if I don't make time to read, if I don't make time to sit around and educate myself, if I'm not plugging into the right people? Unplug, rewire. You know what I mean? That's what that's all about. In order for you to get selfish, you're gonna have to unplug. What things do you need to unplug from? You know what I mean? I'm just gonna say it. Some people, I swear, I am so sick of seeing y'all complain and then y'all, you know what I mean, getting on here and you putting all your business out. You putting all your business out, and by you doing that, by you getting on here and putting all your business out, I'm thinking to myself, all you got to do is stay away from the clubs. Stop talking to the wrong people. And start there. You know what I mean? Unplugging from negative energies, negative and bad habits. I'm telling you, if you pull yourself away from that, it might be kind of hard because you feel like that's where you have a good time and that's where you releasing everything like that. But alcohol is a depressant. So if all you doing is drinking all night and you laughing for a little bit, once you get away from everybody and everything, you bog down. Throwing up, sick, can't think straight. Your health ain't where it need to be. Your brain ain't functioning like it needs to. So you can't strategize. You can't fix the issues that's going on in your house. I'm just saying. Misery loves company. If everybody drinking and you know what I mean, y'all all going through the same things, guess what? Y'all circulating depression amongst yourselves. How you gonna heal? When you keep yourself in a community of sickness, when you keep yourself in a community of illness, the only way you're going to heal is you're going to have to unplug from your community of illness and plug into where people are growing. Since I remember when you used to, like what you start doing, like, you mind if I call you every so now and then so I can, you know what I mean, start picking up some better habits? I'm just saying. A never-ending cycle. It is. If you really sit back and think about it, when you just sitting around people and if all we doing is talking about man problems, we are cycling negative energy, and this is all it's doing. All right, and that don't do nothing but manifest more. All negative energy manifests more negative energy. You start thinking about more negative things going on in your life. Get selfish. I'm telling you, when you start getting selfish about keeping certain energies away, I'm telling you, I don't even entertain conversations where energies keep me when I start to feel like, hold on, we've been negative for about 5 minutes. And you know what I mean? You ever have a conversation with somebody where you're giving positivity, but they just like boom, boom. Everything positive that you say, they got a negative. Yeah, but, and you start realizing that they want to stay in that space. They want to stay in that. That's when I got to get selfish. Hey, you know what? I gotta go. I'm gonna check on you and I'm gonna holler at you later. I gotta go. I gotta go. Because eventually what that's gonna do, that's gonna pull you down. That's gonna pull you down. And eventually you're gonna start thinking about some negative, you know what I mean? Eventually y'all gonna be, I could, because and then you start dreading up some things that you've been, you know what I mean? The devil works in mysterious ways. You know what I mean? Evil, darkness will find its way to you. Darkness will find its way to you. All right. And it's so easy to manifest negativity. It's so easy to manifest darkness. You have got to find a way to get selfish. That's a good thing. That's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing to be selfish about your energy. It's not a bad thing to be selfish about your time. I'm telling you, you have got to do it. This year, do something different. Do something different about resolving your issues. Do something different. I'm telling you, get that calendar. I swear we need to talk soon. You hitting on some stuff. I know, Lakeisha. And I promise you I'm not avoiding you on purpose. There's just so much stuff going on. But we will talk. We will talk. So I'm telling you, if you were trying to make some positive moves and you have not been able to do so, you have got to start analyzing, evaluate what's stopping you. I'm telling you, it's your schedule. It's your schedule. Hey, you, how you doing? It's your schedule. I'm telling you, look at what you got going on. How many people are you catering to? How many people are you conversating with? Think about that. What can you do to say, okay, all right, I need to take 2 seconds and I need to start, you know what I mean? I'm gonna have to cut some activities off. I'm not saying I'm not saying stop your kids from doing what they need to do or anything like that. But wherever in other places where you can kind of make some breaks and cuts and things like that, you need to do that. And it's important that you do that, because if you don't unplug from some of them things that's stopping you from healing, that's stopping you from making some positive changes in areas where you've been trying to do it, because I'm telling you, I'm a wellness coach. And it's some things that I'm like, man, I've been trying to work on this one area. I've been working on this one area. And for some reason, I cannot, you know what I mean? So what is it? What is it? Because you're in control of your own life. You decide who you allow to come in and interfere with what you're trying to do. I'm just saying, you grown. This on you. It is on you. Ain't nobody forcing you to be on that job. You ain't nobody forcing you to, you know what I mean, to run around the way you run around for a million. Ain't nobody forcing you to do none of that. Nobody. You are in control of you. If you are tired of that job and it is draining everything out of you, you need to start trying to figure out what we got to do to get out of this thing. What do we have to do to get out of this thing? And start doing it. Start doing it. If you got to go back to school or you got to get a certification, stop hanging out. You're going to have to. What is it benefiting you anyway? If you don't have the motivation to make the changes, find the motivation. When I get up some days there's days when I get up and I'm not motivated. Don't think for 2 seconds. I always wake up every day and I'm like, wow, I'm ready to take on the world. That is not me every day. I promise you that's not me every day. Some days I'm just like, oh my God, I got so much to do, but I'm tired. I'm exhausted. I'm sad. I'm this. I'm that. You know what I mean? Because I'm divorced. There's no one here. I'm by myself. I don't have no children. I'm in Florida. I don't have no family. You know what I mean? That bothers me. So some days I kind of, you know what I mean, will feel bad about that. But at the same time, what do I got to do to tell myself, to get myself out of mode and not dwell in that? You know what I mean? I have to think, you know what I mean? God is blessing me. God is doing this. He's doing that. I got this. I got that. I'm excited about this. You miss your family, go on a trip. What I got to do to go on a trip? I'm at the grind a little bit, make a little money so I can make time to go do some things that's going to make me happy. Figure it out. What do you have to do? We have to move around for our own good. Absolutely. You do. You really, really do. And you have to just start doing some things differently. You got to reevaluate. And sometimes we got friends that we know we need to let go of. And some of us sometimes are just like, I don't know how to pull away. But I'm telling you, once you start to get selfish, you know what I mean? That's what I did. I'm telling you, that's all I did. It wasn't even on purpose. I wasn't even cutting folks off on purpose in the beginning. I really wasn't. I just was like, I know I was made for more. I know that I was made for better. And the fact that I feel worthless And I keep asking God, what am I here for? And I don't want to live no more. I've had the thoughts. I've had the thoughts of wanting to die. I've had the thoughts of not wanting to go on because I felt like my life wasn't worth nothing. But there was a little voice inside of me that said, you are meant for more. But you have to see the value in yourself. How do I see the value in myself? I don't know. But right now, I need some me time so I can figure it out. So what did I start doing? I'm not telling you to do what I did. I'm just telling you to figure it out. I'm just sharing my story. Y'all don't mind. I started going to church. And I started just really, really, you know what I mean? I went to a church where I ain't know nobody. I went in, I sat in the back, sat down, and I would just look, listen, take it all in. I ain't got nobody talking to me. I don't care who looking at me. I don't care. Nothing. I'm straight. Me and the pastor, we here. We here. When praise and worship get up, I stand up, and it's just me and praise and worship. I ain't looking at nobody. I ain't pointing nobody. I don't care what nobody got on. I don't care about nothing. It's just me and the pastor because I need a word. I need something. So if you're in a place where you need something, in order for you to put yourself in a position to get selfish, go find it. Go find it. Go find it. If there's people around you and you like, man, that sister right there, go talk to her. Go talk to her. That brother right there, man, go talk to him. Go for it. Because people like me, I want you to come and talk to me. I want to see people rise. I'm one of the ones, man. I can't wait to see you make it. I can't wait to see you win. Because I'm going to be your biggest cheerleader. All 4,500 y'all that's following me and all whoever's following me on Twitter and whatever the case may be and on YouTube and people that's in my community. I want to see everybody win. I want to see us win. Like, for real, that's why I get on here and have these conversations and everything. We got to, we figure it out. Go talk to people that don't be afraid. Because I'm telling you, the more that you sit back and you allowing everybody else to win, and let me tell you something, all these people that you catering to and you ain't pouring back into yourself, they are going to win on the back of your shoulders. And you're going to be looking around trying to figure out why you still at the bottom and why everybody else is coming up. It's because they used your time. They cried on your shoulder. They used up all your resources, used up all your money and all of that. And you let them do it. You let them do it. You showed up when they called. You know what I mean? You neglected yourself to be there for everybody else. And it's time out for that. It's time out for that. You see everybody else coming up, but you still stagnant. So I'm not saying get selfish and just say, you know what I mean? Forget everybody else. I'm cool. I don't want to talk to you. You know what I mean? And stop doing community service and stop being a giver and keeping all your money and not being. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that if you find yourself in a space where you are losing and you are failing and you're not making any steps in the right direction, you're going to have to start doing what you got to do to just kind of, you know what I mean? You got to get selfish, because if you don't have nothing to pour, if you are empty and it's possible to give so much. Hey, Marcus, how you doing, brother? Miss you much. If you find that you have nothing else to give and that you are so empty, you have nothing else to give, you don't have a choice but to start getting selfish. You don't have a choice. I am always going to want to be a giver. I'm always going to want to pour into people. And so in order for me to continue to pour, I have to take the step back. Y'all heard me when if y'all wasn't on here earlier, I was saying earlier in the live that, you know, for New Year's and for New Year's Day and New Year's Eve, I didn't do nothing. I didn't go nowhere because I didn't want to. I didn't want to hang out with nobody because I didn't want to. I stayed right here in my house. I watched me, so I got that Disney Plus, y'all. And I watched me some movies. I got me something to drink. And I sat here and it was difficult. It was difficult. I was like, ooh, I need to get up. I need to, let me find a topic. And this was it. Get selfish in 2020. And I wanted to have this conversation with y'all the other day. But honestly, I needed a minute. I just started a couple more hustles. You know what I mean? And so I've been in training. I've been, trying to learn the job and trying to get things in order and fulfilling some requirements on top of moving into this house and trying to get settled and everything. I needed a minute. It just so happened to fall on the holidays when maybe I should have been on here encouraging you guys to, think good and, hey, buy my products and do this, that, and the third and whatever to get. But I needed a minute. I was starting to become empty because I was so busy. So I had to take a minute and sit down and chill out. You know what I mean? Y'all ain't going nowhere. Y'all ain't going nowhere. You know what I mean? I know y'all here. Y'all got me, or whatever the case may be. And I have so much meat and potatoes to give y'all. You know what I mean? I know all I got to do is just come back and get back to it, and y'all going to be right here. There's people that always need help. There's so many people that need a wellness coach that I can take a step back for a minute and breathe. You know what I mean? I've learned that, and I'm okay with that. I'm going to be selfish with my time, because if I run empty, I ain't no good for y'all. If I'm sitting on here and I'm just like, hey, y'all, Natasha, the wellness coach, I'm having a bad day, y'all. I'm so sorry. Today just ain't the day, but you know what I mean? It's all good. We're going to do this thing. What I'm doing for y'all? What I'm doing for y'all? What am I doing to help y'all? What am I doing to help y'all? You know what I mean? So I got to do what I got to do to stay in high spirits and feel, I promise you, even when I get off of here, I feel just as energized, and I feel good, and I can be productive and happy in everything that I'm doing. I'm not exhausted. I'm not overwhelmed. I'm good. I'm good. And I'm going to continue to be good, because when I need to be selfish and I need to take time for me, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that. A lot of people think I work too much. A lot of people think I do too much. I'm good. Because when I know when I'm doing too much and I need to take a second, I'm going to do that, so I can continue to be what I need to be for y'all. So I hope you guys are understanding what I'm saying when I'm saying that it's time for you to get selfish in 2020. I'm not saying get selfish and be stingy and be ugly and be dark and nasty and all that good stuff. I'm not saying that, because there's a way that you can, you know what I mean? Just, hey, I hope that you understand it. Let me tell you something. You start learning who your true friends are, and who even your family. You start learning real people who love you. When you tell them, I need a minute. I just, you know what I mean? I get with y'all in a couple weeks. They get attitude. They start talking about you, and whatever the case may be, you need to cut them loose anyway. You need to cut them loose anyway. And I'm telling you, that's what I started learning when I needed to feed my spirit, and I needed to build my mind and put myself in a position where I could start seeking purpose and things like that for my life. People started falling off the bandwagon, and it was just like, where my friends at? You know what I mean? But all that meant was, in that time that people was falling off the wagon, they not supposed to go with me anyway. In that time when I started growing, that's what you want to happen. You want the people that's not supposed to go with you to go away. You want them to fall off. It's going to hurt. I'm not telling you that it's not. And sometimes we don't want to say certain things, and we don't want to pull away because we feel like we're going to be missing something. We feel like, you know what I mean, if these people leave us or whatever the case may be, we're going to lose out. Guaranteed it's going to be the other way around. Guaranteed it's going to be the other way around. You're going to win. Somebody needed that, because I just got emotional. Somebody needed that. Who was able to bring that back? You're going to win. You're going to win, but you got to get selfish. Sorry, somebody needed that. I don't know who needed that, but I felt that deep in my spirit. Woo, I felt that deep in my spirit. So whoever's listening or whoever catch this, you needed to hear that, because that was, you're going to win. You're going to win. You're going to win. You're going to get, in Jesus' name, whoever needed to hear that, you're going to win in 2020. You just need to take a step back. You need to take a step back and take some time for yourself, because that's what's holding you back. That's what's holding you back. All right. Pull out that schedule. And set the time. That was you, Lakeisha. In Jesus' name. I pray that you figure out how to let go. And you got such a big heart. You got such a big heart. So I bet that was for you. I bet it was, because you have such a big heart. So I can see you giving more than what you're giving to yourself. Don't burn out, sis, because you got a lot of work to do. And I see you working and grinding. Be selfish. It's okay. You need to. You got to. You got to. We give so much of ourselves that we also have to replenish. So I try to do what I can to stay under an hour. I really, 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 really hope that you guys hear me. I really, really hope that you guys hear me. take time for self. Really, really take time for yourself. I have not traveled in a long time, and my goal in 2020 is to travel. My goal in 2020, I'm going on a cruise this year. I'm going to go see my family. My brother's getting married. Thank you, Jesus. I'm going, you know what I mean? I'm going to Colorado this year. I plan on going back to Arkansas because I got some loved ones there. I plan on going hiking. You know what I mean? I plan on going back to Georgia. I got some projects that I'm working on. I am going to be traveling. I'm going to be doing some things for me because I love getting out. I'm an outdoorsy person, and I just haven't, you know what I mean? I've been pouring into so many people that this year I'm actually going to be taking some time for me. I'm gonna take y'all along on the journey, but I gotta do it. You know what I mean? And that's, this topic is even ministering to myself. You know what I mean? I've been getting selfish the last 3 years, but I'm also realizing it's like, dang, how much more selfish can I be? I still got to do more stuff. I still have to take a step back, and I still have to do more. I do. And I'm just like, dang, you know what I mean? My energy, that's the number one thing that I've realized, you know what I mean? And everything, I've gone through some pretty dark times in the last few months, but because I've protected my energy, I've been able to stay in light and love. So because I've been able to protect my energy and stay in light and love, no matter what I'm going through, I'm still able to pour into you guys. So while I'm staying in light and love, I'm plugging in and plugging in and plugging in and taking a minute and meditating and everything like that. So that way I continue to stay in light and love. But I got to be selfish with that. I got to be selfish with being positive so I can continue to be the best wellness coach I can be. I started realizing earlier this year, like, I feel defeated as a fitness coach. I feel defeated as, you know what I mean? And I could have stayed in that, but instead I had to take a step back and evaluate, why do I feel so defeated? Well, because I'm not educating myself. I'm not staying on my P's and Q's. I'm not learning about new techniques. I'm not learning about new ways of implementing, self-care and self-love and determination and motivation and programs. And I'm not studying. I'm not staying up on my craft. I'm not, you know what I mean? So I had to, learn how to kind of take a step back from some things so I can educate myself and connect with the right people. I started connecting with some amazing people that, you know what I mean? Every now and then I get on the phone with them and we just get lost in learning and oh, here's some resources. There's people out there that don't mind sharing and giving you what you need. Just like, oh, I got this for you. Oh, I got that for you. And you got people that know what you need so you can excel, but they don't want you to get ahead of them. So they ain't, dang, you know what I mean? And they got the resources to help, but they won't. Guess what? Unplug. Let me go over here and plug in over here, I'm going to be so animated, but I'm just saying that this whole thing, and I'm going to keep on talking about that, unplug, rewire, man, and plug into resources that's going to help you. So anyway, I'm beating a dead horse. I love you guys so much. Get selfish in 2020. I'm going to keep talking about that. I really want to start talking about money. I really want to start talking about, that's been on me for a minute. I want to start talking about money. So I'm going to start, you know what I mean? I really also, those of you guys that have been following me, if you have some ways that you can implement some resources to people, I need you to do me a favor and inbox me so that way I can get you on here with me. And that way people can start plugging into you. If you're a financial counselor, you can help people get informed about taxes. You can get people informed about realty. You can get people informed about how to, just whatever resources that you have. You know what I mean? I definitely want you to join me on here so that way people can start plugging into you. Why not? Hit me up. Let me know. You know what I mean? I don't want to be the only one on here talking. Because I want to learn too. I still learn all the time. I get on YouTube and be like, that word for real? You know what I mean? I watch other people's lives. I get on Instagram and watch their lives. And I continue to eat and get fed. So get selfish and do what you got to do to unplug, rewire, and plug into other resources. I love y'all. This is Natasha, the Wellness Coach with Junkyard Fitness. I love y'all, and I'll be looking forward to talking to you guys again on Tuesday, 7 p.m. right here. I'll holler at y'all later. Happy New Year again, and I hope you guys have a good weekend. Bye.